And we're back on 2nd Street talking about Ottawa's plan for a $10 per day daycare. This was something they announced a few years ago. It's been in practice. And as we've been chatting with Matt Lau, a columnist with the Financial Post, he's been describing how this program hasn't exactly worked out the way that they had planned. The problem seems to be getting worse. Matt, in your columns, you've talked about some of the problems that this program is imposing on individual daycares, one of which is the administrative burden that suddenly comes with all these dollars that Ottawa's sending to daycares across the country. Could you explain some of the administrative burden that like a small daycare is suddenly facing if they take these dollars?
Yeah, so for example, in Ontario, where both the province and the municipality are very involved in daycare provision, a lot of daycares have reported, duplicate inspections. Someone from the municipal government will come and inspect their daycare. Someone from the province will come and inspect the daycare, and they're looking for pretty much the same things. So it's just, causing just way too much red tape. You have in Alberta, for example, daycares that are subject to audits, and in fact, this is not specific to Alberta, but when the government gives you money, you got to show them your financial statements to make sure that, for example, you're keeping in line with their cost control frameworks. You're keeping in line with the prices that you're charging to families are in line with what the government prescribes. In fact, a lot of the form that the government control takes is really just this control on revenue in this push to keep the cost to parents down. They're limiting the amount of revenue that daycare operators can get. And this has had a very negative effect, actually, on quality across a wide range of daycare. So, for example, a lot of daycares have said that they have to eliminate field trips. They have to reduce parents' choices as to the number of days of care per week. They've had to eliminate crafts and snacks. They've reduced toys and games. They've made reductions to staff salaries and benefits, including their own. A lot of daycare owners may not be taking a salary anymore just because the revenue is so constrained. And all of this burden in terms of government control has had a really negative effect on childcare quality. So much to the point, in fact, that some daycare operators have said that they've pulled out of the program or are unwilling to enroll in the first place, even though there's lots of, huge amounts of government money that they can access. The amount of quality they have to compromise is just not worth it.
Right. So what are daycare operators saying needs to, or maybe their associations, what are they saying needs to change with the program to improve it, if anything? Or do they just feel that it needs to be scrapped and rethought entirely?
Well, I think one of the things that they have said is we need to have the purchasing power in the hands of the parents, because right now it seems like the government has wrestled control of childcare away from the parents and the operators. And it's really, and I've had more than one daycare operator say this to me, it sounds like the government has stolen away my business, or that the government is basically running the business that I took years or even decades to build. And that's the high degree to which government has inserted itself into the daycare industry, and I think instead of having very stringent controls and stringent regulations and administrative burden imposed on these daycares, parents aren't going to choose daycares that have poor quality. They want the best for their children.
Right.
The best way to regulate daycares is to give the regulatory decision, if you will, in the hands of the parents. The consumers are excellent regulators, more so than the government, because it's the consumer who is actually getting access to these services.
So we've got less than a minute before we have to take a commercial, but just quickly, the plan was to come up with this program to make daycare more affordable, particularly for low and middle income Canadians. Are there any signs that it's helping those segments of society?
Well, there was a study done by researchers at UBC. They looked very strenuously for evidence of low-income single mothers accessing this program. I think they did a study last year, and they found across the province, they were only able to find a dozen examples. So clearly, this program is not helping those who need it most. And I think, again, the evidence of that is just the shortages and how difficult it is to access this program.
Okay. Well, listen, when we come back, we'll be looking to you for all the answers as to what needs to be done to fix this. We'll be back in just a moment.